put our date up at the top there. Each one of these records is good for 1 month. Usually 30 days across the top.
You want the date on there today, then?
You betcha. May 21st today.
Okay. March, April, May, 05. Your butt's on campus. You didn't say that.
I did.
Your forks are up.
Oh, I'm waiting for somebody to notice that.
I was looking at Mamie's knee. If she stepped sideways, she'd take her own knee out.
Absolutely. That's what we
Good call, buddy.
I was waiting, I do something kind of strange just to see if anybody will notice, right? If anybody's up and saying, hey, why are these forks up? There's two reasons I did that. One reason was the first thing on our list is forks. The second reason, this is kind of a safety violation.
Yeah, really.
Now what I wanted to show you guys with this was, when you check your forks, you want to look at the condition of the fork, right? And the quickest way for me to do that is to rub my boot along it. I don't have to look at it, I can just feel it. If there's a nick or damage in the fork, I'll feel it in my boot. So I just run my foot over the fork, run my foot under the fork, because what happens is you guys will end up dragging these forks along the yard, and they can do more damage to the bottom of the fork than anything. It's something you won't see, but you'll definitely feel it.
Okay,
So what else do we want to look at with the forks?
Backrest.
They're even.
Well, we haven't gone to the backrest yet. The cracks, where are we going to look at the cracks? In the heel. This is the first place where it's going to crack, is right here. So we want to make sure there's no obvious signs of cracks or warping on the sides. So if we're happy with that, tips look okay?
Tips are okay.
Yep, any kind of deformation or any kind of issues with the forks as they attach to the carriage. You know, not much damage. There's a gauge, which I don't have yet. I've asked for one, but there's a gauge to measure your forks. And all operators should be familiar with how that works. The gauge slides up on the forks, and if at one point where it doesn't fit in, the fork has to be replaced because they wear down.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. So after the forks, where are we going to go?
Carriage.
Carriage.
So forks I checked off.
Yep.
Okay.
So now what do we notice about this carriage? It's different from the average forklift.
It's got no backrest.
It's got no backrest. Now why would we take the backrest off?
If you weren't dealing with a tall load.
Well, it's kind of a clearance issue, right? Because this machine does multiple different types of jobs, 80% of its time it's out here in the yard, probably like 20 cents out the shop. Now when we extend this up and use up our free lift, our second stage comes up really quick. This thing's only got maybe 8 inches of free lift before the second stage engage. I'll show you that when we run it up. Now the problem with that is when the guys are doing a third tier lift, the backrest would hit the ceiling in the shop. So the only way to remedy that situation is to cut the backrest off.
So did you get decertified? Does that have to be?
This part doesn't have to be certified because we're not using, this is just a bracket for which the backrest was on. We made an adjustment to the machine. We took a part off of it for a clearance issue. So the only issue that we have is to make sure that our loads are solid and palletized, because picking up loose matter can cause it to come back over where at the top of the carriage. So it's just a matter of making sure our loads are secure, and it's something we have to do to benefit the job that we're working with. And you'll find that all the time in the industry. They'll modify the machine to suit the job. So like I said, different styles of clamps, different types of backrests, different types of equipment. And it's really important that you can identify that. If you just rush in there and say, oh, it's a forklift untrained, yeah, you know, you're going to have trouble. So it's important that you can identify the different types and different pieces of equipment that you're working with.
So each equipment has its own free lift.
Yes, each one is different. Everyone is different.
So you gotta know.
You have to know, and we'll go over that when we run the machine up.
Okay.
So now we're looking at the mast. Actually, if you want to have a look here, I'll just get you guys to take a half step back. What I was talking about was free lift cylinders. This is a single acting cylinder. So when I push this down, whether it's running or not, that boom falls.
Oh, you're releasing air.
I'm releasing the pressure that's in the ram. And that's what happens when the line blows. It just releases the pressure. Where I can't do anything with the tilt, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a double acting cylinder, it needs pressure on each side. This is still a safety hazard, by the way.
Yeah, it's not.
So next we're going to look at the mast. What do we want to look at with the mast?
The chain.
No, not necessarily the chain.
Oh, if it's tension.
We want to look at the sides.
Make sure they're
What I'm looking for, I like to look at the gap.
even.
Yeah, it should be fairly even, right? If it isn't even, then that means there's a problem with how the mast is sitting together.
So you'd write it up and send it in to get it fixed.
You betcha.
And you won't use it that day.
Yeah. The math. Oh, I guess Karen.
Do we get these back?
What's that?
Do we get these back?
Yeah.
Because it makes a little notes.
Sure.
Exactly what.
Sure, absolutely. No, this is for your benefit. Like the whole idea
Obviously,
is.
we don't have a lot of time and make use of it.
Absolutely, yeah. So now we're gonna look at the lift mechanism.
Oh, so that was it for the
This
math
thing right here?
Sure.
These are our rams. This is our upright rams. Now what this is here is this is a hydrogen shock. Now what that does is when you're running a hydraulic equipment, there's zero bounce in it. Like it's solid. So when you jam the lever, boom, it stops. What this does is it gives it a little bit of bounce, like a shock absorber. So it takes up the shock and load. So if you're bouncing your skid, this it'll lessen the cushion of load. So that's an aftermarket add-on. You can see it looks like somebody put it on there. It's the cushion of load.
So exactly what specifically we're looking at.
Black and white.
Oh, just make sure there's no cracks or holes.
Yeah, make sure everything looks good. Make sure we're not seeing oil running down them. Then our lift chains are next. That's these guys here.
Tension's good.
Yeah, what we want to see is that the tension's even. If we have one chain that's sloppy and one chain that's really tight, that's going to tell us that we have a problem, either with a stretched chain or maybe a bent mast.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Somebody can just pull it straight down.
Yeah, I just give them a push. I like to push on them so I can see how they push. So they're fairly close, that's good. Then the lift cylinders, again, these are the lift cylinders. We looked at them earlier, they're part of the mechanism. We want to make sure there's no oil coming out of them. We want to look at our hydraulic fittings. Now notice this fitting here. See how it's kind of dirty and dusty? Where the fitting right next to it is clean?
Yeah.
So that tells us this one's kind of weeping a little bit, right?
Yeah, weeping.
It isn't dangerous, but it's something that should be looked at. And that's something that we should deal with every 3 months. That should change. We should have our machine checked by a certified technician every 3 months to do the regular service on it, and just to make sure that it's up to code. Because we're not technicians, we're only operators. So now we want to look at the tilt cylinders. Where are they found at?
They're right there.
Right on the front here. What are we looking for with the tilt cylinders?
If there's leaks
Yeah,
or
we want to look for leaks, we want to look for rust. Now what I like to do with this is called the chrome. Now with the chrome, when you can see where it contacts the ram, it's way down inside there. I run my finger down there just to feel the chrome, because what happens sometimes is you'll end up with a ridge on there, right? And the chrome will slowly wear down and then it'll leak. So I don't see any signs of oil. I think it's in pretty good shape.
yeah, somebody ran there down here too.
Yep, just so we can see, feeling for any ridges, anything like that. Next, we want to look at our overhead guard. Now, what are we looking for when we look at the overhead guard?
Bent or damaged.
Yeah, we're looking for, any kind of a deformity, because this structure is designed to bend outwards to protect you, kind of like a crumple zone in a car. I like to look at the welds, because that's the first where the paint's going to pop off is around the welds. So I look at the welds, if they look clean and I don't see any kind of deformation, then we're happy with that. We say that's okay.
It's an overhead guard.
There you go.
Why, what'd you call it?
No.
I just I said what?
Overhead guard.
It's tongue tied.
Oh, I see, okay. It is not a roll bar.
No,
It will not protect you in a rollover situation.
It's not a roll.
Helmet. Bring your
My
helmet.
special helmet.
Would you have to wear the special hat?
Yeah.
Tires and rims. What are we looking for with our tires and rims?
Nails, cracks.
Nails. Now these are cushion style tires.
Are
So
those
they're-
nails supposed to be in there?
Yeah, as you can see, what the operator's done here is he's taken screws and he's screwed them into the tire, so they act like a studded tire in the wintertime, so he didn't have to chain up, right?
Oh, okay. Which probably isn't.
Oh, I thought maybe he just ran over a giant nail.
That has
No,
one.